They told you to be kind, to play fair, to wait your turn. And that's why you're invisible. The world doesn't reward the righteous. It rewards the ruthless who understand the game, the ones who smile in your face while calculating your weakness, the ones who don't chase validation, because power is validation. You were trained to obey. Now it's time to reprogram from zero to untouchable. This is not a fairy tale. It's war, and your battlefield is human nature. Every handshake hides a dagger. Every compliment hides an angle. But when you learn to see through it all, you stop bleeding for people who wouldn't die for you. This is Machiavellian mode, where emotion is a tool, not a leash, where loyalty is earned, not assumed, where you stop reacting and start orchestrating. If you're ready to break the illusion, comment power over pity below. Let me know you've awakened, because from this point forward, you're not here to fit in. You're here to dominate. Welcome to the mindset they don't teach you. Number 1, the birth of cold power. Weakness is a choice disguised as kindness. You were told to forgive endlessly, to stay humble, to be the better man. But the better man doesn't win. He gets replaced. Every empire that rose from the ashes was built on a man who learned to bury his emotions under command, not compassion. This is where you start stripping away your softness. You stop explaining yourself. You stop chasing closure. You stop bleeding for people addicted to seeing you crawl. Power begins the moment you become emotionally indifferent to the approval of others. When their opinions can't shake you, you become untouchable. Detachment is your new armor. Cold doesn't mean cruel, it means controlled. It means you don't beg, you calculate. You don't argue, you observe. You don't react, you reposition. You will be tested. People will accuse you of arrogance, selfishness, even madness. Let them. The wolf doesn't explain why it hunts. It simply does. From now on, you are your own authority, your own validation, your own weapon. Because the world doesn't respect the emotional. It fears the disciplined, and fear is the first forms of control. Comment, I am my own power, if you understand that emotional mastery is the birth of cold power. Number 2, the strategy of silence. Power doesn't shout, it watches, it listens, it waits. In a world obsessed with noise, the man who speaks less controls more. Silence is not weakness, it's psychological warfare. Every time you resist the urge to explain, to defend, to overshare, you are forcing others into uncertainty, and uncertainty breeds respect. The less they know, the more they imagine, and in their imagination, you grow into something larger, darker, more formidable. Machiavelli knew that perception shapes reality. Control the perception, and reality follows. Speak only with purpose. Every word should serve an outcome. Every pause should have weight. When others panic, speak calmly. When they demand answers, give them questions. When they push, you pull back. This is not passivity. It's dominance disguised as composure. The greatest tacticians don't fight for attention. They let others reveal their cards while they sit in silence, collecting information, patterns, weaknesses. Observe how people talk about themselves. They expose more than they realize. The impulsive seek validation. The strategic seek control. You must become the latter. When your silence becomes unsettling, you've mastered the art. People will test it. Friends, enemies, even lovers. They'll say you've changed. They'll accuse you of being cold. Let them talk. They're right. You are cold. You are evolving. You are no longer a man desperate to be understood. You are a man destined to be remembered. When you stop explaining, you start commanding. Let your presence do the speaking. Let your aura unsettle rooms. The world is run by those who know when to hold their tongue and when to strike with words sharper than steel. Say nothing, mean everything. Comment, my silence commands power. If you understand that control begins not in speech, but in the strength to remain still while the world burns for attention. Number 3, the art of control. Control is not about dominating others. It's about mastering yourself so completely that nothing external can fracture your inner world. The weak react, the strong calculate. The average man is a slave to his impulses, a puppet pulled by emotion, validation, and fear. But the Machiavellian man knows that emotion is leverage, and whoever controls it commands the field. Every movement, every breath, every glance must be deliberate. Control your tone so it cuts through noise. Control your posture so it radiates unspoken authority. Control your breathing so even your stillness feels strategic. When chaos rises, stay still. When others panic, watch. When they lash out, remain composed. Calmness is not passivity. It's dominance disguised as peace. People who cannot control themselves will always try to control you. But when you are centered, when nothing shakes your composure, they crumble beneath their own volatility. That's how control works. It's not about shouting louder, it's about speaking less and meaning more. You never flinch. You never explain. You never let them see the storm within. Let them wonder what you're thinking. Mystery is power. Let them question what you're feeling. Confusion is control. Your restraint becomes their obsession. You will be called cold, heartless, detached, and that's fine. Emotionally weak people mistake calm for cruelty. But power isn't kind. It's controlled. The man who can remain unshaken when provoked owns the room because everyone else is busy losing themselves trying to provoke him. The Machiavellian mindset is forged in silence, sharpened by patience, and crowned by self-command. When you can, watch betrayal unfold and still keep your pulse steady. You've transcended weakness. The world bends to those who are emotionally disciplined enough to hold their line when everyone else breaks theirs. Comment control is power. If you understand that the first empire you must conquer is your own mind, and once you rule that nothing and no one can rule you. Number 4, the value of detachment. Detachment is not apathy. It is supremacy of the mind over circumstance. Weak men drown in emotion because they mistake attachment for loyalty and obsession for love. The Machiavellian man understands that attachment is the leash that drags kings to their knees. You cannot lead if you are chained to outcomes, people, or approval. Detachment is the ability to stand in the storm and feel nothing but clarity. You must train yourself to observe pain without absorbing it, to witness betrayal without retaliation, to lose without collapsing. Detachment turns suffering into strategy. When they expect you to crumble, you adapt. When they expect you to beg, you build. You don't chase closure, you create distance. You don't cling to what's leaving. You open the door wider because every loss that fails to break you becomes a lesson that strengthens your foundation. When you stop needing, you start attracting. When you stop chasing, you start choosing. That is the paradox of power. What you can walk away from, you control. This is why Stoicism and Machiavellianism intertwine. Emotionless does not mean lifeless. It means alive with purpose. Every time you detach from chaos, your vision sharpens. You start seeing how predictable people are, their need for attention, validation, and control. You watch them expose themselves through desperation while you remain unmoved, unshaken, unreadable. That's how you win without conflict. The silent man who feels nothing becomes the one everyone tries to affect. They will test your boundaries, crave your reaction, beg for your energy, deny it. Your indifference is power. Your distance is dominance. Never explain why. You walked away. Never announce what you're building. Detachment is your invisibility cloak. While others chase shadows, you're building empires in silence. The less you need, the more you command. Detachment isn't escape. It's elevation. It's not about running from the world. It's about mastering the one inside you. The truly untouchable man doesn't fear loss. He uses it to become limitless. Comment, I control what I feel. If you understand that when emotion no longer dictates your direction, you have reached the highest form of internal power. Number 5, the power of perception. Perception is the invisible throne upon which all power rests. And the Machiavellian man learns early that the world never rewards the truth. It rewards the performance of strength. You can be brilliant, disciplined, and strategic, but if you appear hesitant, society will treat you as weak. You can be ruthless, decisive, and unshakable. Yet if you frame your ambition with calm confidence, they'll call you charismatic instead of cruel. The masses do not see reality. They see reflections. Therefore, you must become the architect of your own reflection. Everything about you communicates something. Your walk, your tone, your eyes, your silence. Every motion should be intentional. Speak less. Let your pauses breathe power. Move slowly. Haste smells of desperation. Look as if you already know the outcome because belief is contagious. When people cannot read you, they begin to imagine you. And imagination always paints you grander than truth. Mystery becomes gravity. It pulls curiosity and fear into orbit around you. Perception is not deception. It is deliberate design. You are not lying. You are orchestrating. The disciplined man curates what others see until it becomes who he is. Machiavelli understood that control of appearance equals control of consequence. To appear calm in chaos makes others question their reality. To appear indifferent to victory makes you seem destined for it. Power lies not in proving your strength, but in having others assume it without evidence. Never defend yourself. Explanations dilute authority. Let assumptions ferment. They will intoxicate those who doubt you. Every symbol, every phrase, every glance must reinforce an aura of inevitability. Even humility can be weaponized when timed correctly because contrast deepens impact. The predator that occasionally bows appears divine when it rises again. People crave certainty. Deny them that. Privilege. Keep them guessing. Confusion keeps them compliant. Confidence, projected consistently, mutates into belief, and belief evolves into reputation. Reputation becomes armor heavier than steel. The perception of control is indistinguishable from control itself. And once the world believes you are untouchable, resistance collapses under its own doubt. Walk like a storm disguised as still water. Speak like a verdict, not a plea. Smile like you're in on a secret no one else deserves to hear. Let every silence feel deliberate, every glance feel strategic, every move appear inevitable. Comment, perception is my power. If you understand that in the theater of influence, image is not illusion. It is dominance refined into art. Number 6, the science of manipulation. Manipulation is not evil. It is understanding human nature so completely that you can bend it to your will without resistance. Every man, whether he admits it or not, manipulates. It's only a question of whether he does it consciously or carelessly. The Machiavellian manipulates with precision. He studies the desires, fears, and weaknesses of others. Like a surgeon studies anatomy, because power is not taken. It's extracted from the blindness of those who hand it over. People crave belonging, approval, and certainty. They are addicted to validation. Feed that hunger, and they will follow you anywhere. Mirror their energy to gain trust. Complement strategically to lower defenses. Reveal just enough vulnerability to appear human. Then reclaim it with strength to appear invincible. Never manipulate for petty reasons. Do it for control, for long-term positioning, for psychological leverage. The most dangerous manipulator isn't loud. He's calm, patient, and disciplined. He makes people believe that serving him was their own idea. To do this, you must master empathy. Not the emotional kind, but the analytical one. See people as equations, inputs, patterns, triggers. When you can predict reactions, you can design outcomes. The Machiavellian mind uses influence like chess pieces, moving emotions, ideas, and alliances across a mental board. Learn to identify ambition in others and exploit it. Encourage loyalty through illusion, promise little, imply much. Humans are controlled not by force, but by perception of reward. Give them purpose when it benefits you. Then take it away to remind them who grants. Meaning, that's the unspoken truth of dominance. You are the source of validation they seek. But beware the manipulator who believes his own lies becomes the manipulated. Never lose sight of your intent. You are an engineer of minds, not a victim of them. Maintain distance. Never get drunk on power or emotion. Remember, the art of manipulation lies not in control, but in invisibility. If they can name your game, you've already lost. Your influence must feel natural, effortless, inevitable. Those who master this rule entire rooms without raising a hand. They do not argue, they guide. They do not convince, they align. They do not demand. They inspire obedience through quiet. Certainty, manipulation when refined, becomes leadership. Comment: I pull the strings. If you understand that the true master doesn't need permission to influence, he designs the game so that every piece moves in his favor. Number 7, the calculated mind. The world bows not to emotion but to calculation. The Machiavellian man understands that chaos is predictable when you learn to read patterns beneath it. Every interaction, every betrayal, every victory follows a structure. The calculated mind studies this structure relentlessly. You must become both the observer and the orchestrator, the man who sees the invisible threads, connecting people, power, and consequence. Logic must dominate emotion, always, because emotion is the language of the crowd, but calculation is the language of kings. When the masses react, you will analyze. When they panic, you will plan. When they seek comfort, you will seek advantage. The mind built on calculation operates with cold patience. You must think in decades, not days, in moves, not moments. Impulse is the enemy of empire. The average man wants quick results. The Machiavellian man wants permanent leverage. To think like this, you must detach from the illusion of fairness and morality that weak men cling to. The world is not fair. It is strategic. Every system, every hierarchy, every law was built to benefit someone's calculation. If you do not calculate, you become a variable in someone else's formula. Never play emotional games in a logical world. You must train your mind to process information without reaction. When insulted, listen for motive. When flattered, look for manipulation. When offered an opportunity, study who benefits most. Behind every gesture, there is intent. The calculated man sees beyond words into incentive. He learns to predict not only actions but timing. Every man reveals his rhythm eventually, his highs, his weaknesses, his desires. Watch long enough and you'll learn when to strike and when to disappear. The key to dominance lies in anticipation, not aggression. Strike too early and you expose yourself. Strike too late and you lose the moment. Precision is power. The mind of calculation also knows when to sacrifice. You must be willing to lose a battle to win the war. Ego seeks validation. Calculation seeks outcome. Let fools waste time proving themselves right. You will use that time to position yourself better. Every silence is strategy. Every retreat is alignment. Every pause is preparation. Do not reveal your thinking process to anyone. The strength of your calculation lies in its invisibility. People trust what they understand and fear what they don't. Remain unreadable. Allow others to underestimate you. Their assumptions become your camouflage. You win not by confrontation but by orchestration, creating conditions where victory feels inevitable. Discipline your emotions like soldiers. Deploy them only when necessary. Anger should be used sparingly, sadness never, and desire always through control. The calculated man seduces outcomes through timing. He never rushes decisions or reveals urgency. Urgency is weakness. Composure is dominance. When you move, it must feel deliberate, inevitable, absolute. Even when you're uncertain, act with conviction, because perception creates belief and belief influences outcomes. You must also understand the psychological layers of those around you. Every man has a pressure point. Some crave recognition, some crave love, others crave control. Learn which and pull the right string at the right time. People are predictable once you decode what drives them. Calculation is not cruelty, it's clarity. It is seeing the truth without the fog of emotion. You cannot lead if you cannot detach from the chaos that blinds others. When the world burns, you must be the one measuring the temperature, not feeding the flames. Let others drown in feeling, while you float in foresight. The Machiavellian man thrives in uncertainty, because uncertainty is where chaos hides opportunity. The mind that stays calm while decoding chaos becomes unstoppable. It sees pathways others call impossible. It reads silence like dialogue and hesitation like confession. Calculation turns the unpredictable into advantage. You must live as though every move you make ripples through a hidden web of consequence. That awareness sharpens you, disciplines you, elevates you. Think always in terms of leverage. How can this conversation, this choice, this loss serve a greater outcome? Power belongs to those who think 5 steps ahead while appearing 2 steps behind. The world respects luck but bows to precision. You are not gambling, you are engineering. Comment, I move with precision. If you understand that the man who calculates deeper than anyone else doesn't play the game, he becomes the one who writes the rules of it. Number 8, the power of isolation. Solitude is the forge of supremacy. The Machiavellian man knows that isolation is not loneliness, it is recalibration. When you separate from the noise, you separate from manipulation. The weak depend on crowds to validate their existence. They need the illusion of belonging to feel significant. But every man destined for greatness must first endure the silence of self. In isolation, you confront your raw truth, the unfiltered mind stripped of distraction and deceit. You learn who you are without applause, without recognition, without flattery. And that is terrifying to the ordinary mind because most men are terrified of meeting the person they truly are beneath all the masks they wear for approval. Isolation teaches you to no longer crave noise. It trains you to generate validation from within. You must understand that independence is not built in public. It's sculpted in shadows. When you cut off the world, your perception sharpens. You begin to see how desperate people are to escape themselves, constantly chasing entertainment, relationships, and validation, because silence exposes their lack of self-command. But the Machiavellian man embraces that silence as fuel. He uses it to discipline his thoughts, sharpen his vision, and build psychological armor. Solitude gives birth to focus, and focus is the rarest form of power. While others are scattering their energy in distraction, you are condensing yours into clarity. In the stillness, you analyze, you observe your past patterns, your emotional weaknesses, and your behavioral habits. You become the scientist of your own psyche. Every quiet hour spent in reflection strengthens your mental gravity. You stop being influenced, you become the influence. The world will not understand your withdrawal. They will say you're distant, cold, antisocial. Let them. Those who cannot master isolation are enslaved by dependence. They are loud because silence reveals their fragility. The man of isolation learns patience. He learns that stillness can intimidate more than aggression. You become unpredictable, unreadable, and self-sufficient when you no longer need constant stimulation. You become the rarest breed of man, unmoved by temptation and unstoppable by fear. Great empires, ideas, and revolutions were all conceived in silence by those who dared to retreat from the herd. Isolation purifies ambition. It separates hunger from vanity. It reveals which goals are authentic and which are distractions. In solitude, you hear the voice of your higher mind, the one society tries to silence with chaos. That voice gives direction to the disciplined and confusion to the lost. Do not seek company when you feel alone. Seek solitude when you feel overwhelmed. Learn to find comfort in your own authority. A man who can stand alone stands above. When the time comes to reemerge, you will walk differently. You will speak with weight. Your presence will feel heavier, quieter, more commanding, because solitude transforms a man from reactive to deliberate, from emotional to strategic. Isolation, when weaponized, becomes the incubator of greatness. Comment, my power grows in silence. If you understand that when the world no longer distracts you, nothing can control you. And the man who conquers solitude conquers all. Number 9, the laws of power execution. Power is not granted to thinkers, it is seized by executives. The Machiavellian man understands that ideas are worthless without decisive movement. and vision without action is a sedative for the weak. Strategy means nothing if it dies in hesitation. The world belongs to those who move while others overthink, to those who strike while others analyze, to those who dare to risk being wrong in order to prove they can never be ignored. Execution is the dividing line between potential and dominance. The man who acts, even imperfectly, outranks the genius who waits for perfect timing. Perfection is a myth, designed to delay the bold. The truth is simple. You will never feel ready. Power does not come to the cautious, it comes to the relentless. Every empire, every conquest, every revolution was built by those who moved before certainty existed. The Machiavellian man acts as if the world is already his. He does not ask for permission to move forward. Each action must be a statement of inevitability, an announcement of intent that tells the world resistance is futile. Execution must be cold, detached, strategic. You move not for emotion, but for positioning. You strike not to prove, but to claim. You do not need applause. Results are your validation. The man who waits for the crowd's approval dies waiting. Action, repeated consistently, breeds respect. Words breed forgetfulness. The Machiavellian man operates in silence until his success becomes too loud to ignore. He doesn't talk about plans. He embodies them. Every day, every hour, every decision is an investment in his narrative. Discipline fuels execution, and without discipline, ambition is fantasy. You must build habits like armor, wake early, move with intent, track progress relentlessly. The moment you lose structure, emotion creeps in, and emotion is the enemy of strategy. There will be times when exhaustion whispers surrender, when comfort seduces you with softness, when failure mocks you from behind. Ignore them. Comfort is the assassin of greatness, and fatigue is a test of will. The Machiavellian man embraces discomfort because he knows it is the toll for ascension. Execution is not about doing everything. It is about doing what matters repeatedly without excuse until momentum becomes your ally. Speed without direction is chaos, but direction without action is paralysis. You must balance both, swift and deliberate, patient yet ruthless. Remember, the crowd hesitates, the king decides. The crowd blames circumstances. The king adapts, the crowd reacts, the king executes. When you act, do so with absolute conviction. Indecision breeds weakness, and weakness invites control. You will make mistakes, yes, but mistakes can be corrected. Hesitation cannot. When you move, move as though failure is impossible. And if it arrives, learn from it like a scientist dissects a specimen coldly, without ego, without shame. Execution refines his instinct, and instinct refines his execution. This cycle, repeated, creates mastery. The world does not reward intent, it rewards proof. Every result, every outcome, every success is a receipt for your decisions. If your actions align with your vision, power compounds. If not, chaos consumes. Therefore, act often, act intelligently, act relentlessly. Never pause long enough for doubt to grow roots. Every day you delay, someone hungrier moves ahead. Power is a current. You either direct it or drown in it. So, execute with purpose, strike with precision, adjust with calm, and never stop advancing. Comment, I move with authority. If you understand that execution is the language of kings and hesitation is the prayer of slaves. Number 10, the untouchable mindset. The final stage of power is untouchability, not the absence of enemies, but the mastery of self that renders enemies irrelevant. The Machiavellian man understands that true dominance isn't about crushing others. It's about reaching a level where their attempts can't reach you. You've evolved from reaction to orchestration, from emotion to precision, from dependence to control. The untouchable mindset is built on 3 pillars: awareness, composure, and purpose. Awareness lets you see every move before it's made, every trap before it's set. Composure keeps you steady when storms try to shake you. Purpose drives you through. darkness when comfort seduces the weak. Most men crumble not because they are outmatched, but because they are distracted. The world constantly tempts you to dilute your focus, to argue, to prove, to chase validation. You must rise above that noise. The Machiavellian. Man no longer plays every game. He chooses the battlefield, the timing, the terms. Untouchability is emotional invincibility. It's when insults bounce off your self-belief, when betrayal becomes data, when loss becomes motivation. You stop expecting fairness and start mastering reality. Every setback becomes an advantage disguised as pain. Every enemy becomes a teacher. In control psychology, the man who cannot be provoked cannot be defeated. When you reach this level, your silence carries weight, your gaze commands respect, and your restraint terrifies those who seek reaction. You are no longer driven by the need to win arguments. You are driven by the certainty that you already have. The untouchable man builds himself so high internally that the opinions, chaos, and noise of the external world lose access to him. He doesn't chase peace, he becomes it. He doesn't seek validation, he embodies it. You must cultivate this mental fortress through discipline, solitude, and self-respect. Never lower yourself to prove superiority. The lion doesn't debate with hyenas. Power at its highest form is calm. It doesn't announce itself. It radiates. The world bows not to the loud, but to the composed. Untouchability is not arrogance. It's transcendence. It's the realization that control over others begins with control over self. Comment: I am untouchable. If you understand that when the mind becomes unbreakable, the world itself becomes your obedient. Reflection: